Hello everyone, Mike Rempel from Excel Bytes with today's Excel blog post. Today we're going to take a look at data validation and using the indirect function with tables to create our lists. And it'll be pretty simple, but I'm also going to throw in a couple other tips that I think you might find interesting and useful. So let's see how we can do these things in Excel. So here's our scenario. You see I have a table, and if I look at my design tab here, the table's called CO Sales, and I have a list of employees and their sales for the various locations. And I want to put a data validation drop-down list based on the names and have it pull in the appropriate values here based on the selection I make with that data validation. Now, normally with a table, you would think you'd be able to reference the table name and then the header for the column in order to structure the data validation. So let's see what happens when we do that. I'm going to select this cell here, go to Data and Data Validation. I'll choose List, and my source is going to be equals CO Sales bracket sales person, end bracket, and I'll say OK. And Excel does not like it. It says there's a problem with my formula. So there's an easy solution to this, and that is to use the indirect function. So if I insert here indirect, put my parentheses, and then I put this in quotes, because it'll convert the text string to an actual usable reference, close my parentheses, say OK. Now Excel has allowed me to use that reference as my drop-down list for the data from my table. So that's slick. Now, how do I easily pull in the data from these four columns when I make a selection here? Well, I did a different blog post on that, and I'll put a link to that in the notes below. But basically, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight all four of the cells that I want to pull the data into, and I'm going to use Vlookup. My lookup value is this right here. I'm going to just lock that, comma. My table array is from A2 down to E12. Again, lock that, comma. My column index number, I'm going to put a curly bracket in, and I want to pull in comma 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to put 2, comma 3, comma 4, comma 5. Close my curly bracket there, comma, I want an exact match, close my parentheses. Instead of hitting enter, I'm going to hit Control-Shift-Enter because this is an array formula, and it will populate those four cells with the data that's pulled in from the table based on my selection here. If I change that to Laura Hudson, pulls in the data. If I change it to Eric Davis, again, pulls in the appropriate data. Now, the last thing I want to mention here is I really don't have to go through the indirect and the table name and the column name in data validation. I'm going to go ahead, select that, and say clear all, and say OK. Now, when I hit data validation, I'll choose list. My source, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this column of data here, and I'll say OK, and Excel will pull in that list, and it will populate those cells properly. And if I do go ahead and add another name to my list, I'll just say Mike Jones, hit enter. If I check my data validation dropdown, notice Excel has added Mike Jones to the list. Obviously, there's no value, so it pulls in zeros. But that's another way to accomplish the same thing. Excel will allow you to just reference the range of data, and if you update that table, it will automatically adjust. And that's how you can do this in Excel. And there you have it. I hope you like what you see. If you do like what you see here, please take a minute to share this post on your favorite social network. I can be found on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So I hope you enjoy this. If you'd like to see more, please feel free to stop by my website, excel-bytes.com, and I hope you subscribe. So have a great day and happy excelling.